Hi, welcome to a video. I'm just going to give a quick update on the UK Online Safety Act. There's been a couple of developments. Ofcom have had a couple of meetings and released a few press releases, so this is just a quick cover of what's happened in the last few weeks since it's appeared in our country. Okay, so this is regarding Ofcom, obviously, because they're in charge of regulating the UK Online Safety Act. Okay, so their strategy is collaborative. So basically they're saying they're taking a cooperative approach with primarily adult entertainment industry, I think, is the focus and at the moment. Remember, the Online Safety Act covers adult and harmful online content. So the scope is actually quite wide, but I think they're focusing really on sort of pornography sites and stuff like that at the moment. And they're really going for guidance currently. It says, Ofcom, in its press release, said the regulator is actively engaging with operators to help them understand and comply with age verification requirements. Of course, age verification requirements is the core of the Online Safety Act, so that if you now go to an adult site, you have to prove you're an adult by means of photo IDs, documentation, credit cards, stuff like that, really. And this is where one of the big problems is with a lot of us who disagree with this approach. So how are they doing it? Basically, they've got 60 sites under investigation now. So these are currently being assessed for compliance. The biggest sites, I presume. No details of which ones they are. And nobody's been having any fines issued or anything like that. There are going to be big fines, and you can expect something to probably happen before Christmas here. They will make example of some sites, presumably those ones that are not complying at all or going offshore or just ignoring the legislation, which, of course, if you're not in the UK, you could practically do. So they did do some updates on recognising the compliance challenges. There was a lot of criticism of the Online Safety Act, and a lot of it comes around this the privacy and the fact that you can completely bypass it, all the age verification. It doesn't need to apply to you if you use a VPN. A VPN just stops it working. So they've recognised that users can easily bypass age verification systems using virtual private networks. If you want to bypass it, I can recommend NordVPN, where there's a discount link in the description below. Is it right? Is it wrong? Who knows? But a VPN just basically stops it working. There's no way currently, really, any of these sites can stop you using a VPN unless they spend huge amounts of money. And that leads us over to the implementation costs. Smaller operators just have no real chance of implementing any really robust age verification systems at the moment. Some of the bigger operators could do something, maybe restrict how VPNs work. It's not easy, and I think it's unlikely. I mean, China have been trying to stop VPNs working for a couple of decades, and they've got a bigger budget than most companies, I would suspect, and they've never succeeded. So, but smaller operators face risks of developing and maintaining any sort of age verification systems. And even the most basic one, if you outsource it, can cost a few cents per visit. And for small non-revenue generating websites, this is just basically going to drive them out of business or get them to, as we showed previously, block access from the UK. Ofcom also registered technical complexity. They're trying to balance user privacy with effective age verification. I suspect, like a lot of you who think they're failing dismally, but they are aware, apparently, of the ongoing technical and legal challenges for platform operators. Of course, there have been a couple of cases. Wikimedia have sued them, and I think lost so far, anyway. But there'll probably be a lot of legal challenges from this, especially from American companies, I suggest, really, the social media companies. there was notification of a big emerging threat, AI-generated CCAM, which is child sexual abuse material. The Internet Watch Foundation have discovered that there was a chatbot site, and there is increasing evidence that AI is being used to generate content like this. This, again, highlights new enforcement challenges. None of these websites will flag up on adult verification things because there's nothing there until you tell the chatbot to generate something, I presume. It's quite difficult to do. It's not as if they're storing and posting lots of images automatically that would be able to pick up. But if it's just a piece of technology that's capable of generating these, it would again be difficult to spot. It's just an example of how rapidly AI technology is going to impact our world hugely in the next 12 months, 5 years, 10 years. There will be all sorts of issues here. I don't know where they're going to start with this, but our Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, said free speech must be protected, but there is a limit, particularly when speech harms children or vulnerable people. Kind of bloody obvious stuff, that, really. But I suppose he has to make a soundbite when he gets a chance. Here's actually a quick... This is a news article about this story from The Guardian about a chatbot site which is being used for child sexual abuse images. Scary stuff, really. If you want to read the article, I'll put a link in the description below. This is the last slide, right? I think, yes. Platform accountability and public interest. At these meetings, this Ofcom, it was raised, public service broadcasters, including the BBC, are demanding some sort of greater prominence on social media sites like YouTube in order to counter misinformation. As you probably know, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, X are all packed full of complete garbage, very convincing misleading information. And the sites like the BBC, whatever you think of them, and I know a lot of people think the BBC spreads disinformation as well, but I think rationally you would think it's probably one of the better sources of content. And there's the other broadcasters as well. We're looking to try and prioritize, to get themselves raised up in the algorithms, but at the moment they don't really have a chance on these platforms. They've got large followings, but you don't see BBC News videos on generally unless you sort of search or subscribe to it. Perhaps that should change. I don't know. This is the story here. UK public sector broadcaster demand more prominences on sites like YouTube. There's an argument to be made. But again, you're tweaking with commercial algorithms. I'm not sure how that works. But basically what they said was there was platform responsibility, so that these platforms like YouTube and Instagram and stuff have got to prioritize authoritative content over engagement-driven algorithms. So all these people who just post utter rubbish will get clicks and views on sites like YouTube. I know I've seen myself that if you post anything vaguely controversial, you get loads of interest, and your videos go up the sites and get more views, even if it's complete rubbish. Should rubbish be prioritized, or should facts be prioritized? I don't think we're at that stage yet. Public interest content, we should perhaps, trusted news source should maintain visibility in all these digital spaces, and that's what they're saying, and that's what BBC are saying as well. Do we have to change regulations to adapt these frameworks, to change the social media platform, particularly for younger people who can be misled and redirected because of these misleading and just plain wrong stuff you find online? Okay, so that's the update. This is the end of September 2025. There's lots of updates to come. I'm going to add an update on the new UK identification bill, or whatever they're going to call it, which is going to produce a UK ID card. I think this is going to be linked in with the Online Safety Act, and I wanted to do some updates. I've done some research on that, and I'll post a video of that shortly this week. Okay, thanks for watching, and bye for now.